Meta has been secretly investing $100 billion over the past 10 years to develop their smart glasses. Amazon already has a full line of glasses on the market. Apple is right there too. Xiaomi and pretty much every tech giant that can afford it is in the race too. Even Google just came back in the race after getting mocked years ago. But why is there such a race in the first place? I mean, the technology isn't even ready. And let's be honest, nobody wants to wear a ski mask in the street. No rational company bets hundreds of billions on tech no one's asking for, unless there's something we don't see yet. Why are they so convinced that by 2030, you'll be wearing these on your face whether you want to or not? At BlackLine, we build AI that works for finance professionals, giving them space to see the big picture. Since AI sits at the core of smart glasses, we definitely want to know what's coming. And let me tell you, this smart glasses race is way more disturbing than it looks. You slide your glasses on and walk out the door. As you step into the street, a small map appears in the corner of your vision. Directions to your morning coffee spot float just ahead of you, adjusting as you walk. No phone in hand, no stopping to check where you're going. You just walk. At the cafe, someone speaks to you in Spanish. Before you even process what they said, subtitles appear. The AI translates in real time. You respond in English, and they see your words translated on their own glasses. Conversation flows. You pass a poster you can't quite read from this distance. The AI reads it aloud, but only you can hear. A WhatsApp message floats into view. You reply with your voice, hands still in your pockets. A moment worth capturing? You blink twice, photo taken. For some people, this is just convenient. No more pulling out your phone 50 times a day. Maybe your phone won't leave an imprint on your jeans pockets anymore. Hands-free, always connected. Information always there. But for others, it's transformative. If you're partially sighted, you can finally read menus and signs without help. Street names, price tags, text messages. The AI describes your surroundings in real time, tells you who's approaching, what's in front of you. If you're deaf, you don't miss conversations anymore. Everything said around you appears as text. Every meeting, every casual exchange, every announcement you used to strain to hear. This is what an AI assistant that sees what you see can do. Not an AI in your pocket, an AI in your vision. The difference is everything. And your smartphone? It's in a drawer somewhere, next to your old iPod and that GPS you used to use in your car 10 years ago. Why would you use it when everything you need is already in front of your eyes? Your kids ask why you kept that black rectangle for so long, and you feel like your grandma when you asked her what the circle on the phone was for. Every tech giant believes this future is coming. Some even say smartphones could become obsolete by 2030. In just 4 years. So last September, Meta already had the Ray-Ban display on the market. Google came back into the race after their Google Glass failure. Amazon has a full line already selling. Xiaomi just released their first AI glasses in China. And there are a lot of other tech companies entering the race. Mark Zuckerberg was clear about it.
I think that personal devices like glasses that can see what we see, hear what we hear, and interact with us throughout the day are going to become our main computing devices.
This is the world they're building, the world they're betting hundreds of billions of dollars on. But there's a little problem. We're in 2025, and this technology doesn't exist yet. Let's talk about what it actually takes to build that future. Meta has spent $100 billion in R&D over the last decade. That's 4 years of NASA's entire budget. It's $27 million a day for 10 years, and they're not even slowing down on it. This year, Meta invested massively into a strategic yet unexpected project, a move that could decide who wins this race, but more on that later. So, what does such a gigantic amount of money get you? Well, in September 2024, Meta showed off Orion, their ultimate prototype. Full-color holograms overlaid on the real world. Gesture controls that felt like magic. It looked incredible, but it was not even for sale. It's too advanced. The materials alone cost over $10,000. Why? Because every component has to be invented from scratch. Transparent lenses that act as screens. Projectors smaller than a grain of rice, but bright enough to compete with sunlight. Except they can't yet. The factories to mass produce them don't exist. The supply chain hasn't been built. As one industry insider put it, if this were just a problem of money and smart people, it would already be solved. So Meta did what they had to do. they released a compromise: the Ray-Ban display glasses that launched in September 2025. It's way smaller than Orion, small enough that you might actually wear it. The display is tiny, tucked in the right corner of your vision. The battery lasts 3.5 hours with moderate use. The wristband that controls the glasses fails once every 20 gestures. And overall, you can only do just a fraction of what's possible on your phone.
The rate of improvement is kinda insane. For example, the light leak, you might remember from Orion, was very evident. Like, you could see clearly when someone was looking at something when they were activated with the Orion glasses. Now, when I pull something up on the display in these, it's basically invisible to the outside world. The light leak is nearly completely gone. Now, of course, this is a much smaller field of view, but it's pretty impressive that from most angles, there is virtually no way to see that I'm looking at something on the screen in these glasses. But as of right now, these are the best smart glasses with a screen that I've tried, hands down.
Meta is selling them for $800 at a loss on every single unit. Why would they do that? It's hard to believe that Mark Zuckerberg is just looking for a new cool toy. No, the real reason is they simply can't afford not to be in the market. As you'll see, this race isn't just about innovation, it's about survival. Meta, Apple, Amazon, they all know the next big shift could redefine everything. Here's what happens if they don't run fast enough. Meta is the home company of Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and more. All of them are just apps that live on someone else's platform. Apple's iOS, Google's Android, platforms they don't control. In 2021, Apple changed one line of code, a privacy policy update on iPhone that lets users opt out of tracking. Tracking and selling personal data is Meta's entire business model. On this day, the stock collapsed. They lost tens of billions of dollars overnight because Apple decided to change the rules of the game. Mark Zuckerberg was clear about what that felt like. One of my formative experiences has been building our services constrained by what Apple will let us build on their platforms. It's not just a complaint. He admitted being totally dependent on devices, the most sold in the world being Apple's. So for Meta, smart glasses are more than innovation, it's survival. So here it is. $100 billion is the cost of independence, the cost of never living on someone else's property again. Now look at Apple. They bet on the Vision Pro, a $3,500 headset built for immersion. Meanwhile, Meta went for something more casual, $800 glasses you can wear anywhere. Apple saw the market shift. In September 2025, they reportedly paused Vision Pro to focus on what comes next, true smart glasses. By the time they arrive, Meta will already have millions of users, real-world feedback, and a head start that's hard to close. Still, Apple has done this before. Enter late, then redefine the game. The question is, can they pull it off again? Since the iPhone revolution in 2007, Apple has controlled the most valuable real estate in technology, your pocket. In just a few years, it will shift toward your face. And the champion spot is yet to be taken. That's what they're fighting for. But this war won't be won with the best AI or the most beautiful design. No, it's way simpler than that. Yet no one thinks about this. With a phone, you go online, pick a model, and it arrives in 2 days. Done. But glasses are wearables. You can't sell them like phones. It's not one size fits all. You need them fitted to your face, adjusted to your prescription if you wear one, tweaked until they sit right on your nose. And when something breaks, you need somewhere to take them. The company that controls retail controls adoption. This war is being fought in physical stores. Remember those massive strategic investments from Meta? Here it is. Earlier this year, Meta spent $3.5 billion to acquire just 3% of EssilorLuxottica. 3% seems small, but EssilorLuxottica is more than a company. It's a vast empire. They own Ray-Ban, Oakley, Prada Eyewear, Chanel, Versace, Persol, Armani. 1/3 of the global eyewear market runs through them. Thousands of stores worldwide, decades of optical expertise. Every optician, every lens technician, every supply chain for prescription glasses. And Meta just bought access to it. They blocked Apple and Google from getting it. Apple has Apple stores. That's an advantage. But Apple stores sell tech. EssilorLuxottica sells eyewear to people who've never thought about buying a computer on their face. Google bought a ticket to the party as well. They just threw $100 million at Gentle Monster, a small South Korean brand with a fraction of EssilorLuxottica's reach. A Wired reporter put it perfectly. You can't just build smart glasses and drop them on Amazon. That retail network is gold. Apple has the stores, Google has the search, Meta has your friends, but EssilorLuxottica has your face. Now, here's the other part of this that's brilliant. Do you remember Google Glass in 2013? People who wore them were called glass holes. The backlash was instant. Restaurants banned them. Bars kicked people out. There was a massive cultural backlash. You could see the tech. It looked weird. It felt invasive. Meta learned from that. Ray-Ban display doesn't look like an 80s sci-fi gadget. It looks like Ray-Bans, Oakley's, Prada sunglasses. Fashion is the Trojan horse for the tech. That's the entire strategy. And it's working. Over 2 million units sold. No one's calling people wearing Ray-Bans glass holes this time. In 3 years, you'll walk into a Ray-Ban store to try on sunglasses. You'll walk out with a computer on your face. And it'll feel completely normal. Okay, that being said, do you see the massive questions we collectively have to address before all that happens? Once again, we might be trading privacy for convenience. Here's the paradox. We say we care about privacy. We don't trust big tech, Cambridge Analytica, data breaches, tracking scandals. Everyone's worried their phone is listening to them. And yet, millions of people are already buying glasses with cameras on their face. Why? Because it's convenient. Think about what these glasses actually do. They record what you see and hear, where you are at every moment, who you talk to, your habits, your routines, your entire day from your point of view. Okay, that's what your phone already does. But in the near future, glasses might track eye movement. This means they know exactly what you're looking at and for how long. Now, think about the person talking to you while wearing them. You don't know if they're recording. You don't know if an AI is analyzing your voice, your face, your expressions in real time. There's a tiny LED that lights up when the camera's on, but honestly, nobody notices. When someone pulled out their phone to record you, it was obvious. Now, they're just wearing glasses. You just don't know if they're paying attention to you. In a transparent AI world, the kind we believe in at BlackLine, that moment could feel very different. Instead of suspicion, there's clarity. People know when they're being recorded, what's analyzed, and why. That kind of openness builds confidence, not paranoia. But we're not there yet. Cafes, trains, offices, everywhere becomes potentially recorded. No permission needed. They're just wearing glasses. Students already got caught cheating with glasses. Meetings will be recorded by default. Hallway conversations captured. Your performance tracked constantly at work. You never know when you're off the record anymore. And then there's the other problem. If you don't have glasses that have AI, you're at a pretty significant cognitive disadvantage. I believe that's true. AI, when transparent, is an incredible tool that helps us to work better and faster toward our goals. The future isn't about replacing trust with algorithms. When AI is open about how it works and data is shared ethically, smart glasses can finally do what they promised: augment life, not monitor it. But it's not a choice anymore. AI is a requirement to stay competitive. We've made this trade before: convenience versus privacy. We did it with smartphones. We gave Google our searches, Facebook our relationships, Amazon our purchases. Now, we're doing it again, except this time it will be even more present. You can turn off your phone and put it in a drawer. You can't really turn off glasses you need to navigate, to translate, to work. Today, it seems like smart glasses will succeed. The good news? We still have time to shape that future. If transparency becomes the standard, not the exception, smart glasses could become the most humane technology we've ever built. The question is, who controls them when they do? Who will control the interface between you and reality itself? We did a video about companies that totally missed the next wave on their market, like Blockbuster versus Netflix. We also tried to predict who was the next too big to fail. It's super interesting. Go check it out.